Hi, I'm Lizzie. I was diagnosed with MEN1 over a decade ago, and for a very long time I tried to handle it all on my own. But as my healing journey began to deepen, so did my understanding of support, what it is, how it works, and how I've learned to invite it in rather than silently wish for it or just reject it completely. In today's video, I want to share what I've come to understand about asking for help, especially from friends and family, because for so many of us living with a diagnosis like MEN1, one of the hardest parts isn't necessarily the symptoms themselves, it's feeling like we're carrying the burden alone. If that resonates with you, stay with me, because I want to share 3 things that have changed the way I invite support and how surprisingly it has made my life a lot easier. And if you're looking for support in managing your own symptoms, potentially without meds or surgery, stay to the end because I've got something super exciting to share with you. So let's dive in. What I've learned is that no one can read my mind, no matter how much they love me. There were times where I kept seeing posts from other people with MEN1, and these posts said things like, oh, people say that they're here for me, but they never actually show up when the time comes, or people ask intrusive questions, or they say nothing at all. Perhaps they try to help, but they just completely miss the mark. Why can't people know what to do? And for a while, I really understood that frustration because I've been there too. But through my own inner work, I've learned something super important, and that is that no one is a mind reader. It's not possible. Even the closest people to me in my life are looking at it through their own lens, from their map of the world, as my mentor calls it. And it might be completely different to mine. So if I want to be met, I need to communicate clearly what I need. That is not a weakness. It is absolute leadership, and it's a skill, and it's one I've had to learn over the past 10 years. I've made support really simple now by managing my expectations. There was a time I expected people to just know, to guess what I needed, and if I'm honest, it more often than not led to disappointment, frustration, resentment. So now I make sure to ask myself 3 really, really important things. Firstly, am I clear myself on what I need? Have I thought about who is best placed to help me with this? And have I communicated it clearly, literally as if the person had no idea whatsoever? Now I'm going to tell you why this works. Instead of hoping someone will just get it, I now say things like, would you mind filling my fridge, or could we talk? And I don't need advice, I just need to be heard or listened to. And it's amazing how much simpler everything becomes when I don't expect people to guess. That applies a lot of pressure on both of us. Of course, there are still moments when I don't know what I need, but even that can be communicated. So I'm not sure what I need right now, maybe just a little bit of company. That can be enough in and of itself. Remember, empathy does not necessarily equal knowing what to do, and that's okay. Slightly different context. When my dad passed away, people said things that shocked me, and some said nothing at all, and that shocked me even more. But when I was on the other side trying to support someone else in the same situation, I realised how easy it is to freeze or to say the wrong thing. It gave me massively more compassion for how people might feel around me and the difficulties in my life, like my dad's passing or my diagnosis. And it's not that they don't care, sometimes they just have difficulty showing it. And that's when I realised the real power lies with me, because I get to lead the conversation. I get to teach people how to support me. And for me, that's not an extra burden, it's actually what lifts the burden. Because managing the disappointment of unmet expectation is far more exhausting, in my opinion, than communicating clearly from the outset. Expectation is only ever one way, invitation is 2-way, and that's the real burden unloaded. It's also an opportunity for connection and understanding and deepening relationships, not just getting help. As my mentor often reminds me, I need to turn my expectations into appreciations, and that's exactly what I've been learning to do. So if you've been feeling unsupported, I really hear you, and I have felt that too. But I've also found so much freedom in learning how to ask clearly, kindly, and with no awkwardness whatsoever. If you want to learn more about how I'm reversing my symptoms and rebuilding my life without meds and without surgery, I've put everything into a free guide that you can download below from the description box. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.